Hello and welcome back to the Endo Diaries. I am so glad that I started this journey because towards the end of 2024, endometriosis has blown up in the news everywhere. Everywhere I go, there's something mentioned of endometriosis. So the reason being I'm doing this video today is to talk about my journey with endometriosis and also while being in chemical menopause. So the chemical menopause that I was induced into was 𝗵𝗵𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃. And I never read up about the bad stuff about it. I never read anyone else's personal journey on it because firstly, when I was 23 and was first induced into menopause, I kind of pretended none of this was really happening because I was 23 years old and I was embarrassed and I didn't want anybody to know that I was in menopause. So the pros for me being in menopause this was all a guideline by my surgeon and my surgical teams. I had colorectal and I had a gynae combined to make these decisions for me. Also, I had the right to say no if I didn't wish to, but I am very thankful now because my fertility is preserved. So the pros being in menopause, I didn't have pain, I didn't have cycles. Like, I haven't properly had cycles in a year and 4 months, which is fine. It's slowly but surely getting there. I do have a smear booked soon, very soon, i.e. tomorrow, to check what's going on down there, just to get a second opinion, just to see, okay, is this a cycle that I'm having every couple of weeks, or is this abnormal bleeding? So again, the pros of being in menopause: it shrunk my tumour like by half. It made the next surgery easier to proceed with. I didn't have pain while I was in recovery because, well, I did, but I didn't have period pains. The cons of being in menopause: one, unless you've been through menopause, nobody could really relate to you. Two, I started losing hair and gaining facial hair, which wasn't pleasant. It isn't pleasant. I'm hoping, fingers crossed, this side effect does do one. But again, if all I have to do is every 2 weeks go and get a thread, I can't really give out, can I? For everything else that I've gone through. So when I went in for my surgery, there was a chance that I was going to lose my left tube and my left ovary alongside 10 centimeters of my bowel. But when they went in, they didn't have to remove any of them reproductive organs because the endometriosis didn't grow because I was getting the 𝗵𝗵𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃 injections. So I, in my own personal journey, never did any research on this at 23. I didn't want to know about menopause. I kind of pretended my endometriosis wasn't growing so badly in my body. Again, this was after a diagnosis surgery. So the cons: my anxiety was very high without the HRT, but I did have other aspects to be worrying about too, like with getting this bowel surgery coming up. That was constantly playing on my mind. The sleepless nights, the hot flushes. But again, this is nothing that can't be fixed. So if you are going to do chemical menopause, just ask your gynecologist or your specialist, can I take HRT? The first time round when I was in menopause, I could take HRT. The second time round, I couldn't. It just wasn't allowed with the surgical plan. So that is my synopsis of 𝗵𝗵𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃. That's my journey. And I really, really cannot thank myself and my specialists enough, because now I can happily say that infertility isn't one of my worries anymore. And I strongly think it's because I went into menopause at 23. I'm now 28. So it's 5 years on and off, but it did benefit me, my body. I'm a 𝗬𝗵𝗲𝗀𝗃𝗃𝗃 Stacy. So thank you for listening and goodbye.